basketball a little bit, and
Oh,
you know,
here we
I
go.
had some time off, and so I decided I'm gonna go to the Miami Heat game.
Oh, here
you know,
we go,
last
here
night,
we
and,
go.
you know, on Tuesday night, and I saw them get their butts waxed by the Golden State Warriors. What's Miami gonna do this year, Lou?
Well, we didn't have Jimmy out there, and we got to give Bam a little rest, and Steph them boys, they desperate, so
Right.
they needed to win more than we did, and we gonna go to the championship. We're gonna beat Boston. They gonna choke like they normally do, choking Celtics, and little red boy, he gonna fall apart.
Did you talk about Jason Tatum?
Yeah, he gonna fall apart when the horn blow.
Now this is a 27-point per game scorer. This is one of the best players in the NBA. You saying he gonna choke?
Yeah, but
I mean, this
money,
is Jason Tatum, man.
For the money, you already come on, Steve, stop this, man. You know how I go with Jason. Jason, he great player. In the regular season,
Right.
He almost like Tua, great player in the regular season, but when for the money.
You talk about almost like Tua Tagovoila, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So you saying that Tua and Jason Tatum are regular season performers, but when times get tight in the postseason, they ain't gonna do it for you. Is that what you're saying?
Fold like an envelope.
Oh damn.
Fold
Really?
like an envelope. Every time.
Well, it's one thing to say that about Jason Tatum. I think he's gonna have something to say about that because I think Boston's the best team in the East, and I think this year they're gonna beat everybody in the Eastern Conference. To be quite honest with you, but since you brought up Tua, you right down here in Miami, you're not sold on him as your quarterback?
No. You got to win in cold weather. Even though he's from Hawaii and all that, played at Alabama and everything, you got to win in. You got to win in the cold weather.
It's interesting that you say that because, Luke, you know what I always tell folks? I don't have much faith in anyone who's accustomed to playing in warm weather. When you got cats that were in L.A. and they going to Chicago, or they were someplace else, they coming to Miami. I mean, rather Miami and going someplace cold. I think that's a problem because I think weather like this can really, really spoil and, dare I say, soften you up.
Yep.
Am I right about that?
Oh, no question about it. Man. I mean, he showed that for the last couple of years. He went to, lay the egg and at Nashville when it was cold.
Yep.
Couldn't throw the ball from here to across the street. And got up in this Kansas City. We already know what was going to happen.
It was minus down there.
It was minus. We were praying that they canceled the game like they did Buffalo.
Damn.
But that wasn't going to happen.
Right. I feel you. So I got you because I don't disagree with you with that at all. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. You know what you're really saying? You're really saying you wish they had taken Justin Herbert because they had the 5th pick. Chargers had the 6th. You could have got Justin Herbert if you wanted to.
Well, that was management because,
Right.
And that's why the brother got fired.
That's right,
Because
Flores.
Flores wanted
Brian
Herbert,
Flores.
and management and ownership wanted Tua. And at the end of the day, we got what we got.
I got you. Let's transition, man, to
But I'm really a Cowboy fan.
What?
Yeah.
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, I'm really
I was not
a
aware of
Cowboy
this.
fan.
I love you, bro. I've loved you for years. I damn near almost want to cancel this time. You're a Cowboys fan. Why?
See,
Why
yes.
would you do that to yourself?
Yeah,
Why?
Listen, I go back with Bob Hayes when he left FAMU. When Bob Hayes left FAMU with the Cowboys, I went with him. I just want you to know that, for
You living a good life, man. You've been an inspiration to so many people, man. The weather down here is nice. There's no state income taxes. I know there's no state income taxes in Texas either, but I'm like, damn. I mean, you consider the winner, Luke Campbell. How the hell you gonna feel comfortable with identifying yourself as a Cowboy fan when you down here in South Beach?
Man, I've been my daddy was a dog fan all his life. Everybody else in the house, I had to go a different direction.
So you had to go a different direction than your daddy?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, man, and we had a rocky relationship.
Oh, that's what it is. Is that why?
Yeah, I would get put out the house when the game come on.
He threw you out the house?
Yes.
When the Cowboys were playing?
On numerous occasions.
Well, that means your daddy contributed to your success because you got intestinal fortitude. You hardcore and you can handle stuff like that. Did you thank your daddy for making you the strong dude that you are?
No question about it.
Okay, because I'm just saying. Well, how come you couldn't switch and become a Dolphins fan and bump the Cowboys? They haven't done anything for you in the last 29 years. They haven't done anything for you, Lou.
Trust me. Tom Garfinkel and all them boys over there, they've tried to convert me many times, but it just ain't happening.
Did they try to use the Dallas Cowboys? Did they try to use the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders? Because Dallas Cowboys got their cheerleaders. I figured
Yeah, they have.
I mean,
they have.
and we know anything about Uncle Luke. I mean,
Sir. But at the same time, I did get into a little West Coast, East Coast beef.
Right.
Because again, Suge and Death Row, they were, roughing up a lot of different people. And then it came about where we ended up trading diss records. It was, Snoop and Dre did a diss record of us. And then we then set another diss record. We then did our diss record. But then again, I grew up kind of tough around here.
Right.
I had a whole bunch of successful brothers. I was the black sheep of the family. I was the bad guy. Something that I'm not proud of during those times. But then when that beef came to us, it ended up in Jack the Rapper. So, which was in Atlanta. They did a little story about it they did a episode on BMF last week.
Right.
About that whole little incident. And we ended up having a confrontation there, a little touch-up event where some people got touched up.
All right.
Because we won no punks.
Right.
And so when that beef came to us, then we had to address it. I tried to squash it because I'm a peaceful guy.
Right.
But the organizers of the event said there was no need, and I was like, yes, there is a need, and because if they come, we come, then it's going to be a problem.
Right.
And it became a problem at the hotel, and it was a melee, and they kind of showed that in the BMF movie.
BMF show. Yep.
Show. Which another crazy part of that story there, that was when Cortez Kennedy was holding out.
Okay.
And Cortez was in the hotel with us before we went to the actual convention.
Right. Good
You
Lord.
should have saw Cortez running out there. He went sign up with Seattle right the next day. He was like, I can't hang out
That's
with
right.
you because it was a chaotic situation. I could just say that a lot of people got touched up, and at the end of the day, me and Suge and Snoop and all them, if you look online, you'll see a picture of us in my suite at the Dolphin Stadium when I think it was Cincinnati Bengals played San Francisco for the Super Bowl. I invited them down with a few other people because I always tried to be the peacemaker, even between Biggie and Pac.
Right.
Both of them was my friends. I love both of them. I sat down and had conversation with Pac when all the stuff was going on, and I sat down and had conversation with Big. And, I was trying to be the broker between that as well. And then, squash the beef between us and these guys, but at the same time squash the beef between New York and Cali during that time. And we had all the powers that be in this suite, and we did.
How much did the deaths of Biggie and Tupac affect you? In light of what you just said, how much did it affect you, and whatever changes may have taken place in you since then?
Man, it made me be more involved when I saw beefs in my industry. It made me be more involved if I saw, it made me be more involved in the kids' lives that I'm at every day. It showed me that, you take your platform and take the knowledge that you have to be able to save some lives because, you don't know how many conversations I had with both of them guys. I remember, which was the wild part about it, me and Snoop a couple of years before had beef, but then when we heard that Biggie died, me and Snoop was actually in the studio together.
Wow.
And so we sitting there and the phones go to ringing and everybody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now here me and a guy who had beef, sitting in the studio making a record, and then, because of this same situation, these guys, Biggie didn't get murdered. And we and him both went to the hospital that night. So, it just, and we share a lot in common, me and Snoop, when we're dealing with the kids and all that.
Snoop's my brother. Snoop and I are real tight. He's one of the best people I know, bro. I got a lot of love for him, and I think it's amazing what he has done with his life and how he has transcended the beyond the hip hop industry. He's never left. Him. I think about him, a guy like LL acting and doing the things that he's done in movies and television shows. Jay-Z producing. producing shows and producing movies. We can't ignore all of that. I marvel at that. But I asked you that question because I want to transition to something else as well. The news about Diddy.
Oh.
Recently, I mean, Homeland Security is raiding his homes in L.A. and Miami. They're raiding P. Diddy's property. I never thought I'd see that.
In broad daylight?
In broad daylight.
Yeah, because normally when the federales come, they come at 4 o'clock in the morning when you sleep.
So, because they came in broad daylight, what do you make of it?
I think it was a big grandstand situation.
Because it was daylight.
It was daylight. It was sending a message. It was sending a message that this is what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. I mean, it obviously covered every news station. Everybody got to see, them grabbing the kids out, which I had a little problem with.
Yeah. And you ain't after the kids, you after him. That's not
yeah. And that, I mean, grabbing the kids, dragging them out, putting them in handcuffs. I mean, that could be traumatizing for these type of kids. These type of kids ain't lived no street life. They don't know nothing about that. They live the good life, which because their parents provided that for them. But I think a lot of guys like the Diddys and the Kanye Wests of the world, when you go cut them deals. When you go in the back room and you cut them deals with the major corporations, you need to know where you stand at. You need to know that, that these people really own you, at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. You need to know how to play the game, and I don't think he played the game in the right way, because at the end, if you're gonna sue Diageo, you better have your stuff together.
Yeah.
Because
politicians love them.
That politicians love. They're arguably the number one liquor brand in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, when you look at politics and how politics work, these type of corporations do what? They put money into politicians' campaign fund.
But that's why I think he's in a world of trouble. And I don't know anything. I don't want anybody to think I know anything. Diddy is always cool with me. He always treats me with respect. I hope that he's innocent of what he's of what they're investigating for. Some sex ring, some sex trafficking ring, and all of this stuff. I hope he's innocent of all that. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I do feel this way. In the world of big business, and this needs to be said while I'm sitting right next to you, Luke Campbell. In the world of big business, when you make an enemy of big business, along the way, they know enough about you.
Yes, they do.
To come for you when they want to come for you.
Yes, they do.
You understand? And it don't have to involve jail. It doesn't have to involve a crime. It can involve them squeezing you out of your money.
Yes,
making sure they humble you beyond repair.
Yes, and that's what you see right now with Diddy, and you see that with Kanye West. When you look at these two brothers, they cut the deals, with Adidas, and Adidas spend millions and billions of dollars and putting into these dudes' pockets, and the liquor companies putting all these millions and billions into their pockets. These guys, when you turn on them, you better know what you're doing. And I always advise guys, you can't fight them, because it becomes like CeeLo. No. Big bank take little bank. And big bankers are gonna win every time, and at the end of the day, when you go into that war with these individuals, you need to know that, their ideal of you, they own you. And if you turn on them, they're gonna break you, they're gonna humble you. They're gonna take everything that they gave you away from you, humble you, find another brother and put him on that pedestal, the same pedestal that they put you on.
But as independent as you have been throughout your career, I think it's important to bring this up, because I try to bring this up. I'm 56 years old. I've been in my business for a long time. And I try to tell folks all the time, stop acting like you completely own and operate everything yourself. Everybody needs somebody, and everybody answering somebody. Your bosses answer the bosses. Those bosses answer to somebody else. Those bosses answers the shareholders, okay? And board
and you
members.
Moving people, stop.
And board members, that's right. And board members and shareholders. And oh, by the way, in the end, you're going to have to deal with the public at large. You can't achieve success by yourself. You always need somebody. And to me, I think it's a mistake when people try to act like, I can do this by myself. I don't need a damn soul, because you're going to find out. You're going to have to ask for something from somebody at some point. Am I wrong in thinking that way?
Oh, no question about it. You're going to have to lean on other people. When you get into that part of a big business and you're dealing with big business, you're the spokesperson for big business. Big business is a stock exchange traded stock, and you're moving their stock because you make these claims and accusations about them. Oh, trust me, before you get into that courtroom, they're going to tarnish your entire reputation. So that jury that you think is the jury of your peers, they're going to already have this understanding as to who you are, and you're going to lose before you get in there. And that is how big business works.
So you brought up P. Diddy. I brought up P. Diddy. You brought up Kanye West as well. This is the music industry. It's like a metaphor for resurrection, for crying out loud. There's always a second chance. There's always additional opportunities. With Kanye West, I believe that to be the case. With P. Diddy, I'm not so sure. It depends.
Well, Kanye, he can't get a sample cleared.
Wow.
He got barred out all these venues.
So you think he's in more trouble than Diddy in terms of being able to resurrect his career?
I think Diddy probably can weather the storm more so than Kanye.
Okay.
Because Kanye is at a place right now where he's barred out of arenas. He can't get records cleared. He can't get features. Nobody don't want to do features. And in this day of entertainment, unlike when we grew up, there wasn't no features. These dudes need to be on there with other people. And so he's gonna have a harder time. Diddy may be able to come back from this. Diddy
he's innocent.
If he's innocent, when you think about it, it's no charges pressed.
Right, it's no charges.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
it's like they're trying to embarrass him.
Yes.
Stain him, etc. If there are no charges,
yes.
And there's not going to be any charges. If they charge him with something, we can't think like that. That's a different game.
That's a whole other movie, right?
Homeland Security.
Yeah, Homeland Security.
Ain't local, ain't LAPD.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
The federal
Miami PD, the federales. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a different ball game.
So Diddy would have to go back. Because Diddy ain't made all kind of statements about people religion and all that.
That's right.
Diddy could come back from it. He could go have a conversation with certain people. And again, like you say, you're gonna need friends.
Right.
And some friend down the line may say, okay, all right, kind of work this thing out and take these handcuffs off me, literally take the handcuffs off me, and then he could pretty much kind of.
But Kanye's different. Because Kanye talking about people's religion, religious beliefs,
when you go into that, and when you go to all kind of, when you get into politics, and so you then, you're losing people all across the board, and you got to know what you're talking about. So you're all over the place. It's gonna be tough for him. I think it's gonna be enough people can vouch for Diddy as being a good person and not a bad guy, because he's not a bad guy.
Okay.
I knew him from the time he was with Big.
Right.
And when they were together, and he's a real sensitive dude way back then. Even, now he's just he's a nice, humble guy. He's not this big animal. I don't know what people do at the end of the party, because when I'm really thinking about running for office again.
Wait.
I'm thinking about running for Congress.
Congress?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Why? One of 435 members?
One of 435 members.
Why would you do that?
I just think I think the Democratic Party, which I'm with, needs somebody to fight on their behalf, because we're really old when you look at it. It's a lot of old people in Congress. I love them to death, but it's a lot of old people representing us. You got the Matt Gaetz and all them other world, they guns are blazing. You know what I'm saying?
On the Republican side, Florida representative, Republican side, yes, that's Matt Gaetz.
And so these guys are more, they're a little younger, they're a little more on their toes, they're pushing their agenda, they're pushing it on media, they're pushing it everywhere, and we're just sitting there laid back, taking it like a
Well, how about what I've said? Because I've been on the record. The Democratic Party absolutely positively disgusts me, because you're literally, it's the year 2024. Your GOP opposition is Donald Trump, the presumptive GOP nominee. He's got 4 indictments and 91 counts, or he had that. He's got a $450 million lawsuit he just lost, okay? And the judge told him, you get paid $175 million in the next 10 days, and we won't make you have to pay the whole $450, okay? At $454 rather. You got that going on. and you still can't find somebody to beat him, so much so that you are literally looking at a president that's about to turn 82 years of age, and you're chanting 4 more years. You're liberal, you're the Democrats, you've got liberal progressives on the left, and the best y'all could do is a dude that's going to be 82 years old. Luke, that's just embarrassing. That's just embarrassing.
The thing is, I understand the argument, but it is, in day-to-day politics, it is difficult to be the incumbent. So I'm assuming the party is looking at it as if Joe is an incumbent. He has a whole lot of things that he's done. This guy here has, we can get 4 years out of Joe. Joe might don't last the 4 years. I really don't even think.
So in other words, I know what you're saying. You're basically saying, yo, man, just win the election. And then after that, you can do what you want because we got Kamala that'll step in and she'll be the president. You go lay down, you go relax.
And she'll be the president. That's in the perfect world, that's how I'm looking at it. And I think that's how it'll probably end up playing out. They could easily run Gavin Newsom.
No, they can't.
Why do you think they can't run Gavin?
Listen, I know Gavin a little bit. He looks great in those suits. He looks very presidential. He looks very presidential. And he got game.
Why they can't run him?
Because they're going to take pictures of the homelessness in California, the gas prices, the taxes, and the borders. They're going to use those 4 things against him, and he ain't going to stand a chance because the number one thing people vote for is about their money.
Right.
You know that, right?
Right. No question about it.
Now, number 2 might be immigration at this point, but number 1 is money.
No question about it.
And Gavin Newsom, he's coming from a state that are absolute professionals at taking your money in the eyes of a lot of people.
But at the end of the day, when you look at Gavin versus a guy who's got all these indictments,
they don't care.
You probably take this guy. So then run the 82-year-old.
Do you know that Donald Trump gets more money every time a different indictment has come down? Do you know every time a different indictment has come down?
He's a martyr. They made him a martyr.
They made him a martyr.
Exactly.
Which is a dumb strategy.
At the end of the day, you stand a better chance because the best person to come out of your party is Gavin Newsom. Outside of that, you got to run the 82-year-old.
Listen, let me be clear.
And then he lay it down, and the sister end up becoming the president.
This is what else pisses me off about the Democrats. They're making me look like I'm a damn Republican, and I'm not. I am a registered independent. I don't like either of them. None of them. You understand what I'm saying? I think the MAGA Republicans are off. I think the squad on the left is off. I think we got 2 extremes basically contaminating everything and making everybody else look more like them instead of being what we truly are, because most of us, about 86% of this population is closer to the middle. You and I both know that, okay?
We do
live
know
and let
that.
live. Live and let live. All right, that's me. That's why I'm a registered independent. But damn it, when I see folks chanting for an 81-year-old, soon to be 82-year-old, to give them 4 more years, that really bothers me.
But you have to look at it like this. And
Okay.
I'm glad we talk about this because I talk about this all the time. When you look at it, you got to look at his policies. Don't look at him as an individual, because it's like Stephen A. You got a whole lot of people out here working right here. Stephen A. Yes, he's the driver of the truck, but there's a whole lot. In Biden's case, Biden's just a guy who's just sitting there. He's not even a figurehead.
But I'm only bringing it up because
it's a lot of other people running the actual office.
I get that, and I totally agree with you. Look at the policies, not the individual. My problem is you have to look at the individual when it's an election year, because can you win? That's why I'm saying it, because I'm looking at it and I'm saying, this man gonna lose in November. He gonna lose in November.
But that's why they're pushing. That's why the party is pushing policy over personality.
They haven't been pushing policy.
Their
messaging is horrible.
Yeah.
Is horrible. The messengers are horrible,
Yeah.
and they've been focused on Trump when people don't care. His base isn't going anywhere, and the independents are going to look at their wallets.
Yeah.
You can't come to other folks and go like this, 4 more years, when you looking at a dude and you saying 4 more years, I hope this brother make it to 4 more months.
But if I run for Congress in the state of Florida and get those extra 50,000 votes that he didn't get in the last election,
You think you can get him extra 50,000 votes?
There's a chance that Joe might win Florida.
We gonna end it right there.